Hi everyone, welcome to Strawberry Studios. Today we're going to make individual LipSense cases. We'll get 10 cases with almost half of our fabric left over for other projects. Here are the supplies that you'll need. It's nothing out of the ordinary, but you'll also need an iron. I forgot to put that on there. So I went to Walmart and I got a fat quarter. I like using the fat quarter because I figured out this pattern and it only takes me about an hour from start to finish. And also I have a lot of fabric left over, so I'll use that for another project later on. So I just open it up, find the selvage edge, which is the finished edge, and in this case it has a white trim on it, and just pin it down. I didn't measure it, just eyeball it. With your needle in the middle, straight stitch everything with a 1/4 inch seam all the way down. Next, get a fabric marker. Here I used a washable Crayola marker, and with a sewing gauge or ruler, mark out sections of 1 3/4 inches. And this is going to be the width of the inside of the LipSense case. We're going to turn it so the seam side is on the left and measure 11 inches. This is going to be the length of the case. Fold it over, measure 11 inches again, connect the markings, and cut. Place your seam side closest to you with the wrong side facing down. Fold up the seam side 3 inches to form the pocket for the LipSense tube. Measure it and pin it down. Next, take the raw edge, which should be on the top, fold it down 2 3/4 inches, and it's going to overlap just a tiny bit. And this is going to help when we go to turn the cases inside out later on. So if you can see here, I already have my 1 3/4 inch markings that we already marked. And next I'm just going to mark it on the top and the bottom so I can have a straight line. And here I'm just connecting them with my ruler and my marker. Yay! Now we're going to sew the cases. I used a 1/4 inch seam again. I placed a piece of tape right there to help guide me and keep everything straight. It really helped this time. Sew on both sides of the red line. So the red line is where we're going to cut the cases, and each case has a 1/4 inch seam. Take your scissors or rotary cutter and cut along the line. Now that all the cases are separate, we'll go ahead and turn them all inside out. And here, don't worry about them looking nice or laying flat. As you can see on the left, those are just turned inside out cases. They're kind of ugly. But the ones on the right have been poked out by the little chopstick. So with my chopstick, I gently poke out the corners and fix the pocket in the middle just so that it lays flat. Next, with an iron, just press the cases flat, and this is regular cotton, so I just used a level 5 with steam on my iron. Next, we're going to make the straps for the clasp to be secured. With the extra fabric, measure 1 1/4 inches along the long 18-inch edge and cut it. Open it up, fold it in half, wrong sides together, and I use my finger to press everything down. Take the edges and fold them into the middle, press that down, and then pin it all together. I tried making a tube before, but it was so narrow to turn back inside out, and it just took too long. So I found this, and it's much faster and much easier to me. Now when you go to sew, make sure your needle is aligned all the way to the right. You can use that tape guide again at the 1/4 inch mark. I like to sew both sides down because I think it looks more balanced and more professional. And then cut this into 1 1/2 inch pieces. Now we have all the components. Make sure that all your cases are facing the same direction with the pocket facing up. For the pin, I like to line it up parallel with the cases in the clasp. This way, when I go to stitch it down, I put the presser foot down, the needle down, and remove the pin. This way, I know that everything is in line and I don't have to fidget with it too much. Align your needle back in the middle. Here I put the presser foot down, the needle down, I remove the pin, and then just stitch away. And in between each case, I left them all connected. I didn't bother to cut the extra thread because I'm going to cut them really close in a minute anyways. And here I'm going to use a seam ripper instead of scissors to cut off the excess thread. To me it's easier just so I can get really close to the edge. And then check them for size just to make sure that the LipSense will actually fit. And voila, you're done!